We're live. The return of my show is here. Oh, everyone, episode 69, dude. Yeah. Hey, Chunga, my friends. Chunga, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. My name is Trev the Rev, and I ain't no vicar. How has your week been? Has it been fun? Has it been fun? No, I hope so. I do hope it's been fun. You have to live your life with fun and enjoyment. Otherwise, where are you going? Where are we going in this maddening world? So, before we start with the entertainment of the sheer, I have to come out with the standard. This is just a standard. Standard. If, 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 if you've enjoyed the video, if you've enjoyed my video, and you want to leave me some remarks, well, you can hit that thumbs up button. Say yes, you love the video. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't done so already and you'd like to see some more of my stuff, all you got to do is subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the show. All you got to do, because I'm on the screen, and hit the subscribe button. All you got to do is hit that screen and go and subscribe. Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the show. Yes. And once you've done that and you want to know when the next video is coming out, which will normally be on a Saturday, just ring the bell, like Quasimodo, ring the bell, la 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 la. Ring the bell. His face rings the bell. Yeah. Oh, yes, misses. And there we go. It's the start of the show. Now, I know you've seen the title of the episode, which is Shanti Devi, but I suppose you're wondering, who is Shanti Devi? Is Shanti Devi? Well, she is an Indian lady who had a reincarnation, and basically, which means when incarnation is when your life has ended, you've left your body, you've risen up to high levels, and then you come back. Now, most people, many people have been reincarnated, but we just don't remember these past lives because we're not meant to. We're supposed to remember the life we live now. When we cross over, when we rise to the high levels, then we remember all this stuff. Sometimes people are starting to remember some of these past lives. So yes, Shanti Devi is one of these people. One of these people. So I'll start, and then you got any questions? Just type them in. Type these questions in if you've got any questions. And if I can ask if I can sing diddle-o, if I can answer them, I will do. Yes. So the reincarnation of Shanti Devi, the girl who identified her previous life's family. Are we ready? We shall begin. Yes, we will begin. Yes. History of the Indian woman Shanti Devi, born in 1926 and she died in 1987, still remains one of the most reliable and studied cases of reincarnation. In the 1930s, she began to claim to remember She has a past life when she was known as Lugdi Devi, so she's in the same family line by the sound of it. Sound of it. When Shanti was merely 4 to 5 years old, her parents noticed that she used to talk about her husband and children. And 2 seconds, I just got to turn my silent. Silent. You've got to keep silent. She started claiming that the home where she lived was not a real home, and as her parents, not a real parents. At first, parents ignored all this. Discouraged by her parents, she ran away from home at age 6, trying to reach Mathura, that's Mathura, but did not succeed. The child calmly explained to her mother that her husband's name was. Oh, here we go, here we go. We're going to start playing with these awkward names. Whoa! Her husband's name was Kedemoth. Kedenath? Kedenath, I think I'm there. And that she lived with him in the city of Mathura. She described the house in which they had lived in detail and stated that she had a son who still lives there with his father. Interviewed by her teacher and headmaster, she used words from the Mathura dialect and said that her husband was a cloth merchant. Shanti Devi, but not only was she married, but she had died 10 days after her giving birth to a son. The parents, worried about their child's mental state, turned to a doctor for help. The doctor hoped that when she would meet him, the child would begin to deny or at least refuse to repeat everything. Here's surprise, surprise, surprise! Little Shati Devi sat down in the last chair in the doctor's office, folding her hands on her lap like an adult, and repeated everything she had told her parents. That little girl even mentioned 3 distinctive features of her husband. She said that her husband wore reading glasses, had a wart on his left cheek, and there was a fair-skinned man. Among other things, she said that she died 9 years earlier, 10 days after having given birth to a son. The stunned doctor began to ask her about pregnancy, and the child answered everything exactly, which surprised the doctor. She clearly illuminated the mental and physical sensations of the excruciating state of pregnancy, which, of course, she could not experience. By the time she was 7 years old, half a dozen doctors have interviewed her, and they were all utterly amazed. Utterly amazed. When Shanti was 8 years old, her cousin, Professor Chad, that sounds like a romantic doctor. Dr. Kishin, everybody. Dr. Kishin, everybody. Anyway, Professor Kishin Chad decided to look Kedarnath, or Kedarnath, that name. He located a merchant by that name in Mathura who had lost his wife, Lugdi Devi, who had died 10 days after giving birth to a son. It sounds familiar, does it? It does sound familiar, doesn't it? A letter was sent to Kedarnath, who thought of that as a trap and asked his cousin to see her as he used to visit Kedarnath when Lugdi was alive. Kedarnath's cousin, under the pretext of a business conversation with Shanti's father, arranged, and decided to meet him at his house. Upon seeing Kedarnath's cousin on a locked doorstep, she screamed for joy. Mother! Mother! This is my husband's cousin. He also lived in Mathura, not very far from us. Guest told Shanti Devi's parents that he was a cousin of Kedarnath from Mathura, whose wife Lugdi Devi had actually died 10 days after giving birth to a son. We've heard that again, haven't we, everybody? We've heard that again. Andy Jimal, cousin of Kedarnath, sent him a letter and asked him to come and meet Shanti Devi. Kedarnath had come along with his and Lugdi Devi's son and his present wife. Kedarnath was, however, posed as the elder brother of himself, not Shanti Devi. Let's go backwards because I just said that line completely wrong. Kedarnath did come along with his and loved his Devin's son and his present wife. Kedarnath, however, posed as the elder brother of himself, but Shanti Devi recognised him immediately and also his son Navni Lal, and even pointed out to her mother the fair colour of Kedarnath and the wart on his left cheek. Shanti Devi tried to take her son in her arms, although they were almost the same height and age. She hugged him and called him affectionate names. Kedarnath asked Shanti Devi how she became pregnant even when she was unable to get up because of arthritis. To this, Shanti Devi explained the entire process of intercourse to Kedarnath, as she knew several details of Kedarnath's life with his wife. He was soon convinced that Shanti Devi was indeed the reincarnation of Lucky Devi. The case, not a hole either. The case was brought to the attention of Mahatma Gandhi. Ooh, Mahatma Gandhi. You can't pronounce that name. Hey! Sets up a commission to investigate. The report was published in 1936. Gandhi appointed 15 prominent people, including parliamentarians, media members, and national leaders, for investigating the case. Shanti Devi narrated everything that happened to her death after childbirth, and that included the complicated surgical procedure she underwent. The researchers were left absolutely stunned by the detailed narration, unable to figure out how a little girl like her would even know about complicated surgical procedures. The commission travelled with Shanti Devi to Mathura, arriving on the 15th of November 1935. These 15 people took Shanti to Mathura. On the station, she was shown a stranger from Mathura and was asked if she could recognise him. She immediately touched his feet and recognised him as her husband's elder brother, who he actually was. Moreover, she spoke to them in the local dialect, not in the Hindi, which she spoke in Delhi. When asked if she could show the way to the house where she allegedly lived, Shanti implied that she would try, although the girl, of course, had never been to Mathura before. Visitors and the greeters settled in 2 carriages and drove away. Shanti Devi showed them the way. Show me the way to go home. Once or twice she seemed to get lost, but after thinking a little, in the end she chose the right path and drove the company straight to the house she recognised. Here it is, my house, and now it's painted white, and it was yellow. On reaching home, Shanti Devi immediately recognised her father-in-law in the midst of a crowd. Shanti Devi told her that in her past life she had buried some money in a particular location in her house in Mathura. Shanti Devi took the party to the 2nd floor and showed them a spot where they found a flower pot but no money. Joe, however, insisted that the money was there. Kedarnath later confessed that he had taken out the money after Lugdi's death. At Lugdi Devi's mother's house, a member of the commission asked Shanti if she had noticed any changes during this time. Shanti immediately pointed out the place where the well was once been. Now the well was covered with boards. The commission's report concluded that the Shanti Devi was indeed the reincarnation of Lugdi Devi. Even the scientists noticed they did not find any episodes or deception or trickery. Unfortunately, her husband and children did not accept her. She learned to live in the present as Shanti Devi. She did not marry and never had any children. In 1986, she was interviewed by Ian Stevenson and K.S. Rowell, in which she also narrated her near-death experiences when Lugdi died. K.S. Rowell continued investigations in 1987, and the last interview took place only 4 days before her death on the 27th of December 1987. So there you go. That is the story of Shanti Devi. What do you think? Do you think reincarnation is real? Do you think when you die and your spirit rises up into the heavens, you come back? Do you? I personally do. I've known I've had at least 4 or 5 different lives, but but I believe I've had many more. And then here's the thought: are your lives purely here, or can you go to other worlds as well? Ooh, a thought. That is a thought. That is a thought. I, I hope you enjoyed that little creation of a story that I put out today. I do think it was a good story to learn from today. Learn from today. I do. And now we're going to talk about something else, something a little different, something a little different. I was going to do this at a later date, but I thought I might do this one now. You see, because this is something I heard about the other day. I actually read some information on this particular thing I'll be talking about, and you've got no idea what I'm talking about at the moment. New idea. But you will soon find out what I will be discussing. I am talking about an event that happened in France, Strasbourg, in the year 1518. In July 1518, a woman whose name was given as Frere, Mrs. Truffier or Truffier, stepped into the street and began to dance. Yeah, honestly, she just started to dance. She started to dance, and why not? Why not? She seemed unable to stop, and she kept dancing until she collapsed from exhaustion. After resting, she resumed the compulsive frenzy activity. She continued this way for days, and within a week more than 30 other people were similarly affected. They kept going long past the point of injury. City's authorities were alarmed by the ever-increasing numbers of dancers going. She continued to swear. They kept going long past the point of injury. City authorities were alarmed by the ever-increasing numbers of dancers. Civic and religious leaders realised that more dancing was a solution. So, got this problem, right, where people start dancing for no reason at all. They can't stop. And the people who are looking into this decide the best way to stop this is to let them dance more. Like the results of today's way of thinking, isn't it? And so they arranged for guild halls for the dancers to gather in, musicians to accompany the dancing, and professional dancers to help the afflicted to continue dancing. This only exacerbated the contagion, and as many as 400 people were eventually consumed by the dancing compulsion. A number of them died from their exertions. In early September, the mania began to abate. The 1518 event was the most thoroughly documented and probably the last of several outbreaks in Europe, which took place largely between the 10th and 16th centuries. Otherwise best known of these took place in 1374, an eruption that spread several towns along the Rhine River. Contemporary explanations for the dancing plague included demonic possession and overheated blood. Investigators in the 20th century suggested that the afflicted might have consumed bread made from rye flour contaminated with the fungal disease ergot, which is known to produce convulsions. American sociologist Robert Bartholomew positioned that the dancers were adherents of heretical sects, dancing to attract divine flavour. Most widely attempted theory was that of American medical historian John Waller, who laid out in several papers his reason for believing that the dancing plague was a form of mass psychogenic disorder. Such outbreaks took place after circumstances of extreme stress. Yes, extreme stress, and generally take form based on local fears. In the case of the dancing plague, of 1518, Wallace cited a similar series of famines and the presence of such disease as the smallpox and syphilis as the overwhelming stresses affecting residents of Strasbourg. He further maintained that there was a local belief for those who prevailed to appreciate St. Vitus, patron saint of epileptics, and of course dancers, would be cursed by being forced to dance. So there you go. That is the story of the dancing plague. Of course, that's not a mystery as in did it happen, did it not happen? Did it happen? The reason being I say that, it's not a mystery because it did happen. Yes, it happened. But why? What would this make someone just walk out of a house, quite a passive mood, and suddenly go, I mean, imagine walking out of the house and going, cardboard, cardboard, little bit, yes, yes. So, what would make them do that? I like to believe that maybe the stress theory was along the line because that does sound plausible. It does indeed sound plausible. I can see someone just snapping and deciding to do something like that, but and to me, that's a good answer. But is it the answer? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So, I gave you two different things to listen to today. So what do you think? What do you think of the reincarnation? Reincarnation of devi, or the dancing plague? So what did you think? Have you got your theories? What are your thoughts? Please let me know. I love to hear your thoughts. I love to hear your comments on anything I put on my shows. So please type in your comments and let no. As we approach the end of the show, I'll just say if you enjoyed the video today, if you enjoyed my video today, hit the thumbs up like button. It's just down there somewhere. It's down there somewhere. And if you want to see some more of my videos, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, which is down there as well, somewhere. And if you want to know when the video's coming out, all you gotta do, be like Quasimodo, the bells, ring my bell. All you have to do is ring my bell. And of course, tell your friends about this. Tell your friends about this video. Tell them about it. Yeah, tell them about the show. And it's because more people who listen to my show, the better things I can do as I'm learning day by day. So on that note, it's time to say, chipple up until next time. Bye bye. Bye.